Hi everyone, my name's Nikki Miers and I'm a demonstrator from Brisbane, which is Queensland, Australia. And I have recently become a Silver Elite demonstrator. And as you know, that's not the easiest thing to achieve, but it is something that I set my mind to and I eventually got there. And today I'm going to share with you a few tips about how I got there, and hopefully you can as well. Normally when I sit and listen or watch presentations on areas such as recruiting, I sit there and say to myself, yeah, whatever, sure, I've heard all this before. I'm just a hobby demonstrator. It's not going to work for me. Sound familiar? So when I got asked to do this, I thought, wow, what's the number one thing that I need to share with people? And that's probably to let everyone know that recruiting often happens when you least expect it, and it often happens organically for people. And that's what I'm going to share with you today is just the strategies that I used, which were a little bit more authentic and genuine to allow that to happen authentically and organically like that. I suppose the first thing to do is have a goal set in mind. So most of us have a pretty strong customer base, and some people even find themselves having awesome sales but not the recruits. So setting up a bit of a plan of attack and actions to help direct to what you want to do to recruit is really, really important. You'll see on the screen, you need to think about the what, the where, the who, the when, the how. There's so much to think about. But when I had a look at it, I actually went, well, where does that start for me? Where does it start for what goals do I need to set? So using the hands up option, can I just have a quick look at who is there waiting to become Silver Elite, but just need a few more recruits? Just a show of hands.
So we've got about 15 hands up.
Awesome. So it's one of those areas where we often sit there and go, this is what we want to achieve. This is where we want to go. So hopefully with what I'm about to share will help you just get some direction to what it is you can do. Now, I myself, I work full time in a different job as well. So a lot of people sit there and go, yeah, but this is just too hard. It's too busy. There's too much to do. So from somebody who also works a full-time job and has 2 children, it can happen. So let's stay really, really positive and work through those. For me, it was as simple as 4 words. So the words were the why, the who, the how, and the when. They were the 4 that I really, really focused on. So maybe grab a bit of paper and draw yourself a little bit of a box to put each of those why, who, how, and when in. And as I start talking to each one, you can take some notes about what it is that you liked about what we're sharing, what other people may have shared through the chat, and what next you can possibly do. So let me start with the why. The first thing to me was I had to ask myself why I wanted to recruit. So is it to build your business? Is it to change status level? Was it to share the discount with other people? Was it about creating a essence of belonging to myself and to the people around me? Because some people are looking for that family unit and that connection. So understanding the why for me was really, really important step to start with. After you know what your why is, then you need to think about the why for other people. So why would somebody else want to join you? Again, it could be similar. It could be, do they want to start up a business? Do they want to receive the discount? Do they want to become part of that community and that family and reach out to others with a sense of belonging? Do they want to receive the fabulous offers that Stamping Up do, like the trips and all of the extras that we get by being part of an organisation like Stamping Up? It's really, really important to think about those 2 whys. For me, when it came to the point, I actually asked myself, well, why not? What was stopping me? And that's really an important question for people, because you can have your why you do want to do it, but then you never get started. So also ask yourself, why not? And where I landed was, why wouldn't I want to share what I loved doing with other people? I was telling myself, oh, I'm going to lose them as customers and then my sales will go down. But guess what? My sales didn't go down. Those people still attend some of my classes even. So it's really, really important to work out also what's stopping you as well. So do you know what your why is? In the chat, just jot down what you think your why is at first thought. So we've got to extend the discount, to share the joy with others. That to me, that was mine. That's really where I landed. Share what you love, to be grateful. I like that one, to have other people to stamp with. I'll talk soon about who you can work with, and you'll learn my story about that as well. I'd like to build a team of fun stamping friends. Being part of a team is really, really important to a lot of people. And that's really important about how it is you set your team up when you do get your recruits. To build a larger base. I love team and family. That's awesome. So we all know that we join Stamping Up, and one of the underpinning things is to love what we do and then share what we love. And that's a really nice why. And that's the authenticity that does come through with what we're saying and what we're doing. But the next point is to think about the who. Who do you talk to? Who do you share your whys with? Where do you go from there? So the first place to look for is your current customer base. A lot of people are a bit scared about talking to their current customers in fear of losing sales. But as I mentioned, my sales didn't decrease. It actually helped extend it, because I was extending my reach when I started sharing with my customers, but as team members. One of the interesting things is I do a quarterly group. And now out of that quarterly stamp group, 5 of those participants are now in my team, which is quite exciting. But we still do our quarterly stamp group. So it didn't stop my event. It didn't stop my sales in the way I'd structured that. But what it did was extended the family of who my Stamping Up team is, which was really, really nice. And they then have shared with other people. Other than your current customers, you can also think about who you don't already know. So we've got DBWS, which helps generate leads. We've got the potential to join Facebook and other social media points. And I saw in the updates today that Stamping Up are going to do some more training and have it in the university around social media. So we've got the support there to help us set those structures up to reach those people that we don't know yet. So that's a really good starting point. My example with that one is I got this contact through DBWS, and I was so excited. Yes, I've got more sales. Yes, I've got a new customer. This is awesome. So I invited her to an event, and at the first event that she came to, we started chatting, and what I discovered was she was spending enough to meet the minimum quarterly sales plus more. While we were talking, I just mentioned, has she ever considered joining up? This beautiful person is now part of my team. She is now a beautiful, beautiful friend, but guess what? She still comes to my events as a customer as well. So that's the value of sharing what we do, is we always have those beautiful connections with other people. And her why was actually to find more people to craft with in her local area. So it was all talking about the discount, but also talking to her why, which is about reaching out and having that sense of belonging and connection. The hidden spot that I love though is friends of friends. So a lot of my friends don't craft. They're those people that snigger and snipe, yet steal my cards when they get a chance, because it's not their interest. But what they do is they support me in everything I do. So when I post something on social media, they'll share it. When I'm having an event, they'll tell people. So they will connect. They will be my network connection to people that they may know that love crafting and paper crafting, and then let them and help them connect with me and reach out with me. So never think just because a friend doesn't craft that they may not know or have connections to other people that may like crafting as well and may eventually be either part of your team or become customers even. So on your bit of note paper that Emma mentioned to grab, just jot down who you could potentially connect with after this webinar. You can also share it in the chat too if you want. Oh, that's a great tip, Laura. Laura mentioned Paper Pumpkin customers. Paper Pumpkin isn't available in all regions, but it is a great tip. There may be people who subscribe that may actually want to join up. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that one. So that's great. So now you're thinking about your why, you're thinking about your who. So what about the how? How can you reach out to people? So I've mentioned DBWS, I've mentioned Facebook, I have done market stalls, I've done events. Up on this slide, you'll see newsletters, coffee catch-ups, events, classes. There are so many different ways that we can reach out to people. The most important thing though is pick something that fits with you and give it a go. So a lot of people are a bit worried about, oh, I can't afford that or I can't do that. That's okay. Then that may not be the channel for you to communicate through. I'm a busy person. I'd love to do blogs. I can't commit to the consistency of blogs yet in my life, so I'm not going there yet. But I do a newsletter and I do it every month or every 2 months, depending on how I'm going with my other job, I suppose, and how much time I have. But what I do focus on is social media, because to me, the social media, the Facebook is quick and easy. When I'm traveling for my other job, I can jump online and do something there. So that really worked for me. But it's important to find what works for you. You also need to consider what you're going to do when you actually reach out. A few tips that helped me was create my story. So think about your why message and turn it into a 1-minute spiel. Often people will call it the barbecue spiel or the elevator pitch. But what is it? Most of you mentioned you wanted to share what you love doing. So because that's such a genuine element that's coming through for everybody, that would be the essence of your message. Is you would talk to people about, do you know what? I really want to share what I love about Stampin' Up, and maybe there might be something in it that you just love. So there's a few tips about creating your story. Use the Stampin' Up resources. Many of us don't realise the fabulous resources Stampin' Up provide us. In your resource section on your back office, you'll find things like the starter kit suggestion, the talk to 10 tracker, the FAQs about being a demonstrator. We've got recruitment flyers. There are a lot of things that we can use. So if you wanted to be more personal and upfront and face-to-face through events and stalls or local businesses, you can use some of that collateral. If you wanted to think about what you can do behind the scenes, if you're a bit of a planner, then use the elements about the Talk to 10 tracker and hold yourself accountable to what you're going to do. But those resources really helped me once I used them. because that was the tip. I knew they were there, but I wasn't using them. So when you do start using them, you'll see a shift in what it is that you're doing. This message to me is really, really important. And I shared this on a quick video from the conferences. And that was, don't be afraid of no, because no may just be a not yet. I have a close friend who loves stamping and came along to events, and I talked to her about becoming a demonstrator, and she'd go, no, it's not for me. No, not for me. No, not yet. And I heard that not yet. And we never stopped having the conversation. After about 12, 18 months, she signed up. She's still a demonstrator and she loves it. She's meeting her minimum quarterlies. She's doing it because she wanted to get the discount on the product, and that was her why, and that's what got her over the edge. But she didn't lose the essence of what she loved, and that was stamping with me. So we continue to do that through team events or even just part of the quarterly group that I was mentioning earlier. So don't be afraid of no. It may not happen straight away for you, but persistence and tenacity actually help us get there. And my number one message, which I know I've mentioned a number of times, is share that passion. So many of us have the passion within, and it's important to share it, right? Because when we share what we love, we actually connect with people. And that is such a powerful tool that we all have at our fingertips. We don't need to pay any money for it. We just need to have the courage to share it. Okay, so we've got the why, we've got the who's, we've got the how's, so the when. When are we going to commit to this? When are we just going to go, do you know what, I'm going to give it a go? Amelia Earhart said the most effective way to do it is to do it. So accountability starts here, people. We're about to pop a poll up. And in that poll, we're asking you, when are you going to give it a go? Em, would you mind putting the poll up, please?
The poll is up.
Excellent. So who's going to start straight after the webinar, or maybe later on today, or maybe next week before celebration ends? We've got these awesome strategies out there that can help us do this as well.
And we've got 35% saying, I have a class event coming up, so I'm going to try then. That's great.
Oh, awesome.
Straight after the webinar, there's quite a big percentage there. That's awesome. And before celebration ends.
Yeah, I must admit, that's probably mine, is I'm going to own it. I haven't used celebration to my advantage this year, so we've got one more month left. So let's use it to our advantage. We've got an awesome offer there with the celebration for new recruits. So it can be one of those talking points that we can talk to. That's excellent. Thank you everybody for participating in the polls. It really helps everybody, not just the Stamping Up corporate team, understand what it is that we're trying to reach out and do, but it helps each other support each other. It helps you support your team members. It helps us really rally on and make sure that we can all achieve what it is we want to achieve. Okay, so I forgot one of the tips. I talked to those four, and that's a really easy plan. But once you, oh, look at those poll results. Thanks, Sam. There we go. I look forward to hearing some successes, I suppose, of how everybody goes. So make sure you share in the demonstrator Facebook page if you're on Facebook as well, because we all love seeing the successes of each other through our social collaboration platform. So that's awesome. So as I mentioned, the what next? So we often have those successes, and then we talk about, right, we've got that, we got our goal, where are we off to? It's important not to forget that it doesn't stop there. what we can do, and I know I saw somebody mention this in the chat, that they need one of their recruits to become silver so they can become silver elite. And this is where we can continue to help. You may be having success recruiting, but how are we helping our new team members or our existing team members then recruit? So don't forget, once you've got a team, the investment in helping them recruit through to also increase. And it's a help win-win situation for everybody then. Thinking about the what next, I'm really big on accountability, and I'll own it. I've probably neglected my team a little bit over the last few months because I've been so busy in this new job I've got. So my what next is to stop, recalibrate exactly what it is, where I'm going, what I'm doing, start reaching out and working with my team a little bit more, and probably to follow my own advice and to sit down and go, okay, well, who am I going to talk to? I've got celebration I can utilize. I've got a whole new network of people. My son's just started playing his rugby league football again. So I've got all of those people I can reach out to at the local sporting community. So it's about committing to some actions and again, sharing what it is that I love and what I do. Okay, so quick show of hands. Who's still sitting there going, whatever, I've tried it all before, it hasn't worked, I'm hearing similar stuff. Is anybody game to put their hand up? Because I know I often sit there and go, yep, I'm hearing it again. But you know what? I never gave up though. And that to me is the number one tip. I had to stay true to me. I'm not a big player, and I don't have to be a big player to really love what it is and to build a team. And if I tried to do and copy everything that everybody was doing, I don't think I would be successful. So to me, it was, I never gave up. I had to stay true to me, and I had to keep trying a few different things until I found what really worked for me to have that success. So with a little self-belief, encouragement from each other, courage from within, and really showing your true passion, I know that most of you can reach your goal. So good luck with your goals that you set for yourself. As I mentioned, please share it on the Demonstrator Social Collaboration page on Facebook. We love hearing and sharing those things. And I'm going to hand back to Emma.